Kiss small businesses goodbye. The looming change in worker classification rules will cost small businesses big bucks. Yeah, most of them are just going to decide it's not worth it anymore, or they're just going to hire overseas. A lot of attention has been paid to the tax increases that are part of the DIM-backed Inflation Reduction Act. That's going to increase inflation. While these increases are concerning both businesses and taxpayers, there's another rule coming from the Brandon administration that would have an even bigger impact on costs for millions of small businesses: a looming change in worker classification rules. What they've been threatening for a long time and finally making good on. So the new rules will result in changing the status of countless independent contractors to employees. Why is this a big deal? Small businesses rely on independent contractors to perform ad hoc and infrequent tasks that usually do not require the attention of full-time employees. Often called 1099 workers, thanks to the tax form that needs to be filled with the IRS to report payments over $600. Oh shit, what's that going to do to YouTubers? Does that mean us YouTubers are full-time Google employees now? These freelancers or gig workers are standalone entrepreneurs who oftentimes serve multiple customers. Yeah, how's that going to happen? Is each customer going to require exclusivity now too if you're going to count as an employee? They're truck drivers, software developers, project managers, construction workers, content producers, healthcare professionals, counselors, and trainers. They belong to professional organizations that support freelancers along with millions of others. They get projects and side gigs through platforms such as Fiverr, Craigslist, Upwork, and Freelancer.com. Most of these entrepreneurs operate independently as small business owners themselves and earn their entire livelihoods this way. Others enjoy the extra income these freelancing opportunities provide. Oh, yeah. And now they're going to go after these small businesses, and all the brain-dead idiots out there are going to, they're going to be all for this because they don't understand the damage this is going to cause. And then they're going to be crying a few years later that the only jobs available to them are Amazon and Walmart. But the Brandon administration feels these independent contractors need more protections. So the Department of Labor is taking action. Now, see, that part's a lie. This isn't about protecting workers. It's about giving more power to big corporations and shutting down small business competition. That's what this is really about. The department now plans to engage in rulemaking on determining employee or independent contractor status under the Fair Labor Standards Act. Dumpster fire. We remain committed to ensuring that their employees are recognized correctly when they are in fact employees, so they receive the protections of the FLSA. The DOL's new rules will throw away multiple requirements that have long been used to determine whether a freelancer is truly independent or should be classified as an employee, and replace these requirements with a more simplified ABC test. Yeah, California did this already. These new rules focus on just three factors. A, the worker is free from the control and direction of the hirer in connection with the performance of the work. B, the worker performs work that's outside the usual course of the hiring entity's business. That's the big one. And C, the worker is customarily engaged in an independently established trade, occupation, or business. Yeah, so maybe to get around this, like instead of hiring people, you hire companies. So me as an independent small business, I have my own company. You as an independent contractor have your own company, and I just hire your company to do the job. So for small businesses, the biggest challenge will be meeting the B rule. That's because, in essence, that specific test basically says a small business owner cannot use a 1099 worker to perform tasks that generate revenue for the business. The work must be outside of the usual course of what his company does. So if he's going to charge clients for services performed by outside developers and tax experts he uses, he can't treat these outsiders as independent contractors. Now, how's that going to affect people who have multiple independent contract jobs? So instead, he must classify these workers as employees. And what's the big problem? Well, why? Because that's a big tax increase. And not just tax, also time. You got to waste all sorts of extra time and resources on the bureaucratic bullshit. And not only will small business owners have to withhold payroll tax for these workers, they'll also need to pay their employer's portion of both Social Security and Medicare, as well as any related state and local taxes. As employees, they may be qualified to participate in the company's benefit plans, which could incur further health insurance and retirement costs. Don't have a benefit plan, I guess. Sure, these workers also have protections under the Fair Labor Standards Act. They also have the freedom to unionize, which many opponents are saying is the main driver behind the brand administration's actions. But do independent contractors and freelancers really want to be employees? No. As an independent contractor and freelancer, no, I don't. The whole point is to be free of that shit. Many contractors prefer to be their own boss and have no desire to be on a payroll. And they like their independence. They serve multiple customers. They make their own choice from billing to the clients they work for and the hours they work. And this is exactly what these laws are targeting. They're targeting small business owners' ability to be their own boss and set their own rules and force them to go work at Amazon and Walmart with everyone else and all the people they hired. We told the Labor Department that we want these attacks on small businesses to stop, said Karen Warren, a co-leader of the Fight for Freelancers USA. There are 59 million independent contractors in the country. We are a third of the U.S. workforce, not for long. And the majority of us are happy. Lawmakers and regulators need to stop their outrageous attempts to misclassify us as employees. The bill could end my ability to be my own boss and set my own hours or otherwise live the American worker's dream, wrote Judy Kettler on Nothing But Crap News. According to the ABC test, businesses need to treat someone like me as an employee with all the rights and benefits that entails, even if I'm writing only a single story for them. Ditto for all the creatives who support themselves through gigs like actors, artists, and musicians. How many companies will continue to use our services under these circumstances? It's simply not feasible. Yeah, they're going to go overseas. I'm just telling you right now, that's what's going to happen. They're going to go overseas. So Kettler was referring to the PRO Act, a workers' rights bill fashioned in California's controversial AB5 legislation that failed to pass the Senate back in current year -1. Despite the failure, the deal is continuing to move forward outside the legislative process using pieces of that legislation, particularly the ABC test. So what they always do, they just attach unpopular shit to must-pass bullshit. The department held 2 public forums on the issue in June, and most experts are expecting finalized work classification rules by the end of the year. That's the official date when we're full banana republic. It's inevitable that freelance organizations and other business groups will challenge the ruling in court. There's already been many legal challenges, and it's important to note that the ruling is coming from the DOL does not impact how the IRS, a separate agency, defines independent contractors for tax purposes. So confusion and chaos are also inevitable. Yeah, they also want this on purpose, too, so they can always get you for something. In the meantime, countless small business owners will be stuck in the middle amid inflation, supply chain problems, labor shortages, and continued economic slowdown. These changes could not be coming at a worse time. Unless it's intentional. That's good for them. If their goal was to crush small business from the start and force us all on the big corpo plantation, then this is perfect timing. One could say it couldn't be better. So now we got it. We got a deadline. The U.S. is pretty much going to be a banana republic by the end of the year, if it's not already. All of us workers are just going to exist to be exploited by the ruling class. But it's for our own good, though.